when I was 13, he entered my life. It was great romance at first. I helped him grow. He helped me grow. I poured myself, my time, my energy, my resources into this relationship. I thought it was love. But joke's on me, because it was only one-sided. Despite my best efforts, he stopped reciprocating. And eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. So when I was 17, I tried to leave him. For several years, we maintained very minimal contact. But I couldn't lie to myself. Deep down, I knew that I still yearned for him. So when I was 20, we got back together. It wasn't perfect, and it still isn't. But I think I understand him and myself a lot better now. You see, he wasn't a Darren, an Andrew, or a Tim. He was Tinlit, the very first business that I built. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dhira, and when I was younger, growing up, I dreamed of becoming a great novelist. I dreamed of writing an international bestseller and seeing my book line bookshelves all around the world. And I worked hard for that dream. I was 11 when I first attempted to write a novel. And when I was 13, I finally finished my first book. It was a 300-page romantic comedy. Can you guess what it was called? It was called Boy Who Broke in My Window. You can tell that a 13-year-old had written it. But I was so proud of that story. I submitted the story to tons of publishing houses and literary agents all around the world. But day by day, I was met with rejection after rejection. I was really disappointed. I couldn't get professionally published. But as they all say, and as we grew up learning, rejection is redirection. And so what did I do? I self-published with a different title. That same year, in 2016, I also started Finlet, an online writing platform that connects authors to publishing houses and readers all around Indonesia. Finlet helps authors with dreams like mine get professionally published. It was the solution to the frustrations that I myself faced. It was the literal manifestation of my dreams. In other words, Tinlit was the love of my life. And I was obsessed with Tinlit. It was the thought I would wake up to every single morning and sleep to every night. Most entrepreneurs here can probably relate. But starting something so serious when you're so young, it felt like I was entering into a marriage before I even fully understood myself. Or how to run a business, for that matter. And so while the journey was extremely rewarding, I also went through so many personal lows. So over the next few minutes, I want to walk you through this journey and the key lessons that I learned throughout. I call this journey the Triple H: Honeymoon, Heartbreak, and Hope. Let's begin. Phase 1, the honeymoon. In our early years, things were exciting. Things felt magical. Our platform grew to thousands of authors and stories. We were able to onboard top publishing houses in the country, and we were able to help several authors get very exciting publishing deals. As I mentioned before, I helped Tinlit grow. At the same time, Tinlit also helped me grow. How exactly? Tinlit helped me overcome some major limiting beliefs that I had. As a young founder, a young entrepreneur, I was so insecure about my age and my inexperience. I feared that people would not take me seriously because I was so young. Yeah, I really, really feared that. I really remember the very first partnership pitch that I did. It was in a cafe near my house. I had my pitch deck ready, I had everything prepared, my laptop on one hand, and I remember telling myself, Dhira, don't sound stupid. You gotta sound intelligent, you gotta sound mature so that they want to work with you. So the time finally came. when the potential partners came and they sat down. And I couldn't help it. I just started rapping. Yeah, I rapped my entire pitch deck. I was so overcome by my insecurities that I became so nervous and I failed to engage. I didn't engage with them at all. And that entire conversation lasted 5 minutes. And then at the end, that partnership fell through. And I was really disappointed. It felt like a slap in the face because I didn't come there to show off my IQ. I came there and sat with them because I believed that together we could create something special for our community of authors. It was then that I realized one important lesson. Lesson number 1, it's not about me. In fact, Tinlit has never been about me. It's about our authors, the stories that we represent. And it was through Tinlit that I learned this important lesson. Today, it is a value that I carry with me through all the things that I do and all my work. And I'm very grateful to Tinlit for that. But of course, the journey wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Soon enough, Tinlit hit some major roadblocks. This brings us to stage number 2, heartbreak. So Tinlit and I grew up together until we didn't. At some point, Tinlit stagnated. Despite our best efforts to continuously engage our community and launch new and exciting initiatives all the time, our numbers, they kept dwindling and we kept losing money. And I was losing confidence, I was getting burnt out, and to be honest with you, I felt like I was wasting away, fighting for a business that simply wouldn't work at a time in my life when I was so young and had so many other doors opening up for me. So at 17 years old, at the end of high school, right, exactly here, at the end of high school, when I had the opportunity to go to Singapore for university, a huge part of me felt relief. I saw Singapore as a chance to finally distance myself from all those emotions, clear my head, and truly finally get a good night's sleep. And I'm not proud, but I have to admit I did try to run away. Reflecting back on that experience, I picked up one very powerful lesson. Lesson number 2, humility. I remember when I was in middle school and high school, when Tinlit was still doing great, whenever I wouldn't get invited to hangouts with friends, I would comfort myself by thinking that, oh, it's okay. Dhira, you got better, more exciting things to do. You see, I had so much pride. I was so prideful because my circumstances back then allowed me to be. Because at 14 and 15, I was getting invited to speak in universities, radios, and talk shows. So when Finlet finally started to really struggle, my self-confidence and my self-worth came down with it, got completely destroyed. Let's be honest here. We live in a world where we tend to glorify tangible, visible success. What universities you go to, what job you have, how much money you make. And then we associate these conventional successes with great qualities like hard work, determination, intelligence. Right? And I was like that too. Back then, I used to see conventionally successful people and think, they're great. I would be completely in awe, right? And I wouldn't be so curious about other people. But that is such an unfair, judgmental mindset to have. Because if there's anything I learned from giving my all to a business that struggled for years, it is that sometimes things are just out of your control. I learned that there are so many people in this world who work so hard in the ways that they know best, and yet things still haven't worked out for them. And that's just life. That's just life. And the more I understood that, the more I started to really celebrate the process instead of just the outcome. And the more my perspective on people became holistic. Failure and heartbreak, they humbled me. Fortunately for me, this heartbreak did come to an end. At some point during college, I landed on a crossroads where I really had to make a difficult decision. Do I stay and continue Tinlit and commit to rebuilding it, or do I leave and move on? Around this time, I was scrolling through Instagram and I found a post that was created by one of our published authors. And she shared about how, for years, she had struggled to publish her book. But it was only through Tinlit she was able to successfully do so. That wasn't a sponsored post, and it gave me so much joy. Because in that moment, I realized that, yeah, we have made an impact in somebody's life. That moment, I was also reminded of another author who we published, our youngest published author. Do you know how old she was when we helped her land a publishing deal? She was 13 years old. 13, the exact age where I really struggled to publish my own book, and when I ultimately decided to start Finlet. It felt like a full circle moment for me. That made me really happy. So even though at that time I knew that Tinlit was still financially bleeding, those realizations really cemented my decision. Those realizations were enough for me to decide that I wanted to take care of Tinlit, or at least figure out a way that this platform could be taken care of moving forward. This leads to the last stage, hope. So in the middle of college, I returned to Tinlit. Our team came together and we really thought about ways that we could make things better and we could make things more sustainable, and also what went wrong. But this time, I approached things with something a little bit different. Vulnerability. This takes us to lesson number 3. The beauty of vulnerability, the beauty of asking for help. Have you heard of this popular saying, be careful of who you share your dreams and your problems with, because most people don't care. Some others, they won't share your enthusiasm, and many others, they're just curious, but they don't really want to help. It's a very popular quote, right? But I'm so grateful because in my lifetime, I've been able to meet such amazing people who truly do care and who truly do want to help when I ask. I learned that in this world, there are many special people like that, and they are everywhere as long as you make your needs known. Yeah, as long as you make your needs known. And for me, to be honest, when I did make my needs known, when I finally did open up about the struggles I was facing, the guidance and resources that I needed, it opened up a lot of doors for me. It opened up mentorships as well as grants for Tinlit. So vulnerability is not a weakness. In fact, it can open up so many opportunities. So if there is any advice that I would like to share with you, it is just ask. Don't be afraid of being vulnerable, because you really never know. There are really so many special people out there. So that was my triple H. That was my honeymoon, heartbreak, and hope. Now, of course, my journey, my triple H, will look very, very different from yours. But I sincerely hope that the lessons that I share with you here today can transcend this stage and impact your life in some way. Now, Tinlit, might not be a Darren, Andrew, or a Tim. But Tinlit was also more than just a business. It is a community. It is a collective dream. It is a spirit to bring stories to life and help storytellers thrive. And it has been a very long and difficult journey, but I'm very grateful that it was through this difficult journey we were able to support so many authors and bring so many stories and dreams to life. Thank you.